The ATF just intentionally violated federal law and is going against Congress's will by sending our legal team information that was supposed to be censored, trying to force GOA to violate the court-mandated gag order and lose our case against them. Our legal team quickly saw through this attempt and shut it down. We even sent the judge who put the gag order on us a notice of compliance, making it crystal clear we didn't violate anything, but it was the ATF who did. But this underhanded trick has farther-reaching consequences beyond just this case. It could be foreshadowing a terrible playbook by the next anti-gun administration. Stick around as I break down what the ATF did and how the next anti-gun president could weaponize this exact situation against gun owners. Hi, I'm Ben, and you're watching the Minuteman Moment. With the Department of Justice opposing us in our one big beautiful lawsuit, our fight against the National Firearms Act just got harder. Thankfully, at GOA, we're no strangers to doing the work and fighting for the Second Amendment. So please consider becoming a member and helping us work to free short-barreled firearms, AOWs, and suppressors from the ATF's tyrannical registration requirements. Okay, now back to the video. But first, a little backstory on the situation. As part of our lawsuit investigating the ATF's secret monitoring program of gun owners and their purchases, which has been going on since the Biden administration, we've been filing Freedom of Information Act, or FOIA requests, in order to uncover more information that the ATF hasn't told the public. As part of that lawsuit, we are able to get documents on the NICS monitoring program that the ATF has been running, which we've covered in videos in the past. If you want to learn more about that specific program, I'll leave links in the description below. Now, among those FOIA documents, the Biden administration mistakenly gave us sensitive and unredacted documents. They quickly rushed to a judge to put a gag order on us from exposing their mistake. Now, quick side note, this is a major violation of our First Amendment rights. GOA has the freedom of the press, and gag orders like this completely infringe on that right. Really, the only time courts are supposed to allow these kinds of gag orders is if a reporter is trying to leak US troop movements during active wartime. So a gag order over a GOA FOIA request is outrageous. That's why the New York Times, Reuters, the Washington Post, and dozens of other news organizations that are not normally on our side of the issue filed a massive amicus brief in our favor. That should tell you how important this case is to the press and to the freedom of speech. That's the backdrop for this story, because ATF did something else absurd too. Now fast forward to recently, where the Trump administration did the exact same thing as the Biden administration and released sensitive and unredacted information to us, but this time, intentionally. ATF did this in an attempt to moot our lawsuit. They know they're screwed if they actually have to see us in court before the DC Circuit Court of Appeals at the end of January. ATF came to GOA with a settlement offer where it would give us partially unredacted files and refuse to pay our legal bills. We rejected it. We'll see you in court, guys. But then, ATF sent us the partially unredacted files again. You see, under the ATF's gag order, it's illegal for GOA to look at, or use, or publish these unredacted documents. So when the ATF sent us another copy, if we looked at it and used it or tweeted it, we'd be in violation of a court order. Basically, this action was an attempt by the lawyers over at ATF and DOJ to get us to slip up and unintentionally violate the court order. But our lawyers caught it in time. No easy trick play win for the ATF. Better luck next time, feds. But the bigger issue here is, them intentionally releasing this data to us violates an act of Congress specifically designed to prevent gun owners' private information from being released. Notice the Tiahrt amendments. There are several sections of permanent federal funding law that prevent the ATF from releasing personal gun owner and gun store trace data. This includes information like names, addresses, make and models of firearms, exactly the kind of information sinister anti-gunners would love to get their hands on to harass people exercising their Second Amendment rights. The protections against releasing this data was originally proposed back in 2003 by Congressman Tiahrt in response to anti-gun groups and mayors releasing the same type of data in order to attack and harass these people. These Tiahrt amendments protect gun owners and gun stores from having their private information published by anti-gun groups or from facing nuisance lawsuits that try to strip their Second Amendment rights away by keeping them stuck in an endless and expensive court battle. Now, why does this matter beyond the single case of the ATF violating gun owners' privacy? Well, the ATF intentionally violating this act of Congress meant to protect gun owners sets up the next anti-gun administration to do the exact same thing. Only next time, it won't be releasing it to a pro-gun organization in a short-sighted attempt to win a court case, but instead to one of the billionaire-funded anti-gun groups in an attempt to end the Second Amendment. And this would immensely help the anti-gunners' legal warfare against the 2A. Just recently, the Supreme Court dismissed the Mexican lawsuit against Smith & Wesson because they couldn't prove any direct causal link between Smith & Wesson selling firearms and the gun crime in Mexico. But I'm sure you can guess what they want to happen with the next anti-gun administration. Perhaps a new ATF director or bureaucrat decides to accidentally download a bunch of private gun owner data or intentionally leak it to the anti-gun groups to moot one of their lawsuits. Then, SCOTUS might take Mexico's arguments more seriously, only prolonging the frivolous nuisance lawsuits against the gun industry even further. The Bondi DOJ's ignoring Congress's specific and decades-long intent to protect gun owners' private information here is raising alarm bells for Congress. Does Congress really have the constitutional power of the purse if ATF bureaucrats can intentionally disregard their budgets? What other two-way protection in federal law might an anti-gun administration violate? How does Congress hold ATF accountable when they have already intentionally violated the law? The anti-gunners know this and have sided with DOJ on their accidental violation of gun owners' privacy for the exact reason I mentioned above. Early in our case, the city of Baltimore and Everytown for gun safety filed an amicus brief in favor of the Biden administration, saying that the mistakenly leaked information wasn't a violation of the Tiahrt amendments. In the past, gun grabbers have used similar data to dox New York City gun owners, and the Biden ATF also helped the gun control lobby map out a bunch of gun shops, including those owned by members of Congress, by using raw data from the ATF's firearm trace system. Misusing this data to harass gun shops and gun owners who have done nothing wrong except for having their name be in the ATF system is dangerous and discriminatory, especially when this trace data shows that the gun store was trying to help the police catch criminals. But that doesn't matter to the anti-gunners. They will happily use it to spin the narrative that gun stores are complicit in crimes. What's on the line here is bigger than just winning or losing this single case. What's on the line here is whether or not administrative agencies like ATF and DOJ can just ignore Congress's power and word, and whether or not gun owners' privacy will be protected like Congress intended. That's why we need your help to get Congress to hold ATF accountable. So pick up the phone and dial the House Oversight Committee at 202-225-5074 and the Senate Judiciary Committee at 202-224-5225. Ask them to hold the ATF accountable before the next administration abuses this new loophole to destroy the firearms industry. Now, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with GOA's latest fights for your rights.